Hello, everyone. It's me, Mrs. Cubbage. It is Wednesday, and it is Etiquette class. Etiquette class with Mrs. Cubbage is sponsored by Vibrant Souls Health and Wellness. You can find them on Instagram, or you could email them at vibrantsouls@gmail.com. Etiquette class with Mrs. Cubbage will begin in just a moment. Well, you're probably wondering what type of etiquette we could talk about today. Well, I will tell you. Today on the national calendar is National Letter to Elder Day. And I'll read you a little something about that, and then we'll get into what our etiquette is going to be. National Letter to an Elder Day falls on today, and this is the day to encourage people to write a handwritten letter to an older person to show appreciation and combat feelings of isolation among the elderly population. So the purpose is to send a heartfelt letter to an elder to brighten their day and remind them that they are valued. So I thought about that, and it was actually Sam C. who found that today was that day. But I thought about it, and I thought maybe if you are going to write that letter to an elder, maybe we should talk about writing a letter and the proper etiquette for that. So there are 7, they call it the 7 C's for a written letter. Okay. And these are certainly things that you need to know. You need to be clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, and courteous. And this is basically letter writing in a nutshell. As long as you have those 7 components in your writing, you should be perfect. Make sure you address the person by their name. Not necessarily if you're writing to maybe your grandparents or something. You don't need to use their first name. You could say grandma, grandpa, whomever that may be. But make sure that you capitalize the beginning of each sentence. Try to use proper grammar. Write as you would speak. And just be very clear, just to let them know what you're feeling about them, and just to let them know that they are loved and that they are valued and that they are not isolated from the world. Many, though, however, I love the fact that there's still this type of day that's being celebrated. I hope people are doing this, actually writing an actual letter. However, the population that would be considered the elders would probably be the baby boomers, right? These would be the maybe the great grandparents or the grandparents of I would say they would be the grandparents of the children, I would say, that are probably in their 20s now, like teens to 20s. And depending on your teen or 20, those grandparents could have great grandchildren. So I would say the baby boomers. And I want to say for myself, the baby boomers that I know are actually on social media. However, I'm sure that they would appreciate an actual thought out handwritten letter. That's just my opinion. As I said, those baby boomers are, they're amazing. They're amazing. They're learning new technology in their golden years, and they are just absolutely amazing. They are blazing the trails. They are learning constantly, and it's just such an amazing thing to see. And I personally, I'm sure that they would appreciate a handwritten letter. But don't be surprised. This would be something funny, right? You sit down and think, and you go through all these things and have a wonderful, beautiful handwritten letter. Please use nice handwriting. That'll be another etiquette class for another day. But what would be so funny and probably so amazing is if you were to write a warm, heartfelt letter to these to this generation, that they get back to you in maybe a text or a DM or something. But it's amazing. It's amazing how technology is nowadays. But sometimes you have to go old school and do something just as simple as sitting down, writing a letter. So maybe pull out that pencil sharpener and sharpen all those pencils. And you don't necessarily have to get the sharpener where you're, right? You don't have to do that. You could use an electric pencil sharpener. Okay. I remember for a time, my in-laws did have an old sharpener where you can, crank the sharpener to... I love that. I actually, even when I started at the preschool many, many years ago, the lady that I worked with, who now is in her 70s, she had an old style crank, pencil sharpener. So you don't need the old style pencil sharpener. You can use an electric one, sharpen all those pencils, or use a nice fine tip pen and sit and think. You might need to find a quiet place to do this, because I don't know if you have family or a spouse, children who might get in your headspace while you're trying to do this, but try to find a quiet place, hide somewhere, and think about it and write a beautiful neatly handwritten letter. And it will certainly go a long way. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure you give me a thumbs up on this video, and make sure you check out all the rest of our content. We do a lot of different things here on this channel. It's a lifestyle network here with the CCI radio show channel. We have shows that are on we have podcasts that are on other audio places. We have a magazine, we have books, we have a publishing company. So do what you can to try to find out about us. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe to our channel and tell your family and friends all about us. And make sure you check us out live right here on our YouTube channel on Saturday morning, every Saturday morning, live at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay? So thank you so much for joining me. Have an amazing Wednesday. The weather is already starting to get better, but I'm a little bit afraid, kind of like those scary movies, those old scary movies where you're thinking that the villain is down for the count, but they get back up. That's what I kind of feel how the weather, treats us in winter. Right here, we're thinking that we're good. We're coming out of winter. We're getting spring-like weather. And then, so let's hope not. Let's hope that the snow stays away for those who may not be too impressed with the snow. And for those who do want the snow, I hope it's snowing in your area. I hope. But if you don't like the snow, I certainly hope that it is warming up for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have an amazing day, and I will see you again really, really soon. Take care.